Okay, so let's look at the other method. So I'm going to hide this set and the fern, and we're going to turn on the iris. So in this method, what we're going to do is sample the color um, from the underlying texture and UVs, and then use that to drive the color of the mesh points and objects. Okay, so to do that, we go to Iris, Mesh, we create a color node, just like before. And now this time, we're going to grab um, the flower node um, and plug that into the UV mesh. There we go. Hide this for a second. Still not quite there. Ah, yes. Okay. So we have our. I had to think about this for a second. So we have our mesh that tells it like where to sample, but then we also need um, the texture that we want to plug into here. So to do that, grab this. I'm gonna grab um, my texture here. Go back to Iris and plug this in, and there we go. So now what it's doing is it's assigning the color sampled from the texture to each of these points. And what's amazing about this is like we can animate and deform and do whatever we want to these points, right? So if I go to mesh and I add say a random node, right? And I could say, you know, um, animate them all coming in, or I could plug it into um, a fluid or anything, right? So there's a lot of power in this here. Turn that off. All right, so just like before, to get this to render, we need to do a couple things. So in our color node, we want to make sure that I'm sorry, in our repo node, where that is, repo node, yes, we want to make sure color per vertex is on. We also want to make sure that in our shape, if you're having a hard time finding the shape node, if you right click on this, you can turn on shapes, select our shape, and export vertex colors. And then we need a new material. So material, standard surface. We'll call this um, iris dots, standard surface. We'll apply this to our mesh. Okay. Then in here, we need AI user data color. I'm going to plug it into the base and in this case the emission all the way up. Um, and then we need to figure out what the name of this attribute is. So let's see what Mesh has named it. They have named it color set. Again, let's give it a new name so it doesn't get confused. Oh, actually, Yeah, maybe it's all right. Let's see. All right. Increment and save. Render view. Render. And there we go. And let's see here. If I move the camera around, see that this is working. And you know, this is all procedural, so I can have more of these little dots. I can make them smaller. I can animate them. I can kind of do whatever I want. And have depth of field, and we can even make them, let's just look at it as a square. Gram cube thing. And there we go. We could add depth. I mean, there's like so much potential here. So yeah. We could also have, like, say, okay, so there's the moment here. If we're trying to make this look like it's made out of light, let's say. If this was made out of light, these colors would kind of add up. So let's see. What if we turn on transmission? See, there we go. And they're all kind of doubling up, and we'll make the that one. We'll turn off the specular. Maybe we'll kind of find a sweet spot, or maybe, I'm kind of curious, what if we plug the same color in there? Yeah, no. Turn down the emission. Yeah, that's kind of a better way to get it to look like it's made out of light. All right. Cool.